Hi guys, today I'm going to make lasagna. The full recipe can be found if you search in the group page for Frank's Lasagna. Most importantly, and especially at this time, wash your hands. Sing a song if you feel happy, sing a song if you don't. These are only my tips on food prep, so just be careful when using a knife. When I'm chopping onion, I tend to leave the root on one side. I've seen videos where they slice across the middle. You don't need to do that. An onion is layers, it'll fall apart anyway. And slicing a knife towards your hand is never a good idea. So just be careful when you're slicing, you're left with the root. And when I'm chopping the celery and carrots, slice them into little strands and they're able to dice a lot easier. They need to be small in order to cook in with the mince and that they're not too chunky in texture. In a large pot over a medium to low heat, a couple of sprays of oil, and add the diced bacon medallions and your tablespoon of oregano. Cook these until they're lightly golden. Add the onions and followed by the garlic. And just sweat these down on a low to medium heat just until they soften and glisten. Once the onions have softened, you can add the celery and carrots and cook them for about 7 to 8 minutes. You just want to soften these down as well. Next we're going to add our beef. Good quality 4% mince for 800 grams according to the pack instructions is 17 smart points. I had it done up at 19, so this is even better. Break it up and make sure to turn up the heat because you don't want to stew the mince. You want to make sure you're browning it well. Once it's fully browned and no pink parts remain, it's fully cooked. Add your tomatoes with one of the cans filled with water. Season with about a half teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper and add some roughly torn basil leaves, about a half a cup. Stir well and bring this to a boil, and we're going to let it simmer partially covered with the lid askew for about 1.5 to 2 hours until it reduces and thickens. Once done, allow it to cool slightly or completely before assembling your lasagna. Apologies for the light here, it was sun shining in the back door. While the bolognese is cooking and reducing, you can make your pasta. It's 120 grams of 00 flour if you can get it. Crack in your egg. Bring it together with a fork. It'll take a couple of minutes. The benefit of this pasta is that it's so light and it doesn't feel like a brick in your stomach after you've had a portion of lasagna. Turn it out onto a clean surface and knead and work the dough for 6 to 8 minutes. It becomes fairly silky. Wrap it in cling film and refrigerate for about 30 minutes. When making the white sauce, rather than a bechamel sauce, this is a very light alternative. 70 grams of light cream cheese and 60 grams of fat-free Greek yogurt mixed with a half teaspoon of nutmeg and some salt and pepper seasoning. This is a very tasty alternative to the quite rich bechamel sauce with the butter and flour and the milk. It's fairly high in points if you use a proper bechamel. When you're ready to roll out your pasta, divide it into 3 pieces, each one just ever so slightly larger than the first because you're building your layers in your dish. Now you can use a pasta machine. I don't have one, but I use a rolling pin. It's a bit more work, but just roll out your pasta sheets to the size of your dish. I use that chopping board there just as a rough guide for the size when I'm working it out. It may take a few moments, but it's good exercise and you will appreciate the taste of homemade pasta. Repeat the process and get ready for assembling your lasagna. When you're assembling the lasagna, use a layer of bolognese, and it's the same recipe. It makes a very, very tasty bolognese. Separate with a layer of pasta. Repeat until you have all your sauce mixture used up, and move on to topping with the white sauce. Spread the sauce evenly. Sprinkle on the cheese and some slices of tomato, sprinkle with basil, cover with foil, bake in an oven at 180 degrees centigrade for 35 minutes to 40 minutes, remove the foil, cook for a further 15 to 20 minutes or finish under a grill for 7 to 10 minutes. Enjoy!